introduction. I was told to come up here and just read the history, but we've all pretty much read it on a change of command program or something like that. So I actually kind of want to talk a little more about some of the principles that this unit represents. Okay, and all of us in here, civilians and military alike, at some point have sworn allegiance to these words. I'm going to read these words a little bit slow and clear. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, and provide for common defense, promote general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Okay, we've all sworn allegiance to that principle. Okay, and regardless, we're here for different reasons, whether it's financial because you need a job or taking care of your family. Okay, you've entered into a little bit more of an honorable service by swearing allegiance to those words, because words matter. Those words mean something. It's the principles behind those words, the common defense. NATO was established 69 years ago in 1950, when we were in the birth of the Cold War. And we honestly believe that the powers that were rising on the other side of the Iron Curtain at that time were a threat to our posterity, a threat to our defense, a threat to our principles. Millions and millions of people were killed from the beginning of World War I until about when our brigade's early roots were growing. Okay, we haven't had a disaster, we haven't had a war, we haven't had an event that comes close to what World War I and World War II did. World War I, 17 million people died. You know, if you go back 100 years from today, we were as a globe, we were going over the destruction from World War I, and 100 million people died for a flu epidemic. Now, we have not experienced in any of our lifetime that kind of tragedy. But World War II comes, and 100 million people get killed in World War II, and Stalin, who emerged to power on the other side of the Iron Curtain, was killing millions of people even after the World War II, and as we formed as a unit. So, if you think that these principles are taken for granted, the same nation that was emerging in 1950 changed the borders in our theater in 2014. Borders changed. Okay, there's been a more recent border change to a peaceful dispute between the Netherlands. But if you go back to 2014, the same thing that started World War I, two nations in conflict and everybody running to allegiances, that's what started World War I. And so I think that sometimes we, as part of NATO, don't really grasp the seriousness of what this alliance means. This military alliance affects us, because what it says is, if somebody attacks one of our allies, we're in it, just like the Constitution. Okay? That's what NATO represents. Okay? Our history, just a real brief of our history, was established in 1950, and we started off in Paris. Okay? There was a political conflict with France, and in 1967 it moved to where it currently is in Belgium. Okay? And it's changed. The nature of NATO has changed. There wasn't much military presence in NATO until the first Gulf War, and they started to integrate and become more of a military. And today, it's very relevant as we are doing Defender and big exercises where we are starting to talk about how are we going to fight as an international community. Okay, so everyone in here kind of gets stuck in doing their G6 job or their G1 job or their G8 job. But I want you to understand that you, at some point in your character, belong to something that is by far greater than just the G1 or the G3 or the U.S. military. By being part of this organization, you're saying that I'm going to take the principles that the United States was founded on, and I'm going to spread those principles, and I'm willing to die and defend those principles in an international setting, in an international way. Okay, and I think that makes our unit and your participation in our unit a little bit special to me, because I actually believe that. What you choose to believe does matter, and those words do matter. So with that, we're going to have the youngest soldier here at the brigade cut the cake.
Oh, I was coming up to do it.
Oh, you don't get to. I'm sorry. I gotta give a shout out to the young.
Very good.